Good afternoon, everyone. The panelists and myself, we look forward to an enriching discussion, whereby we can discuss topics of real-time importance to all of us, especially during these COVID-19 times. So what I'll request each of my panelists, is to basically first quickly introduce themselves to the audience. So over to you, Kalyan.
Hello, everyone. Hi, the panelists and the August set of attendees out here. I think this is a digital conference that we are doing, which is fantastic. That brings in greater degree of impetus to digital world as such. So quick introduction about me. I bring in a rich experience in conceptualization, design and delivery of digital product propositions and customer experience levers in banking, which includes retail, commercial and corporate banking solutions. And my current mandate revolves around creating digital business levers and digital first products and quantum leap digital customer experience within the digital platforms of ICICI Bank. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalyan. Vikas.
Hey, thanks a lot, Deepu. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vikas Malhotra. I represent LogMeIn. And at LogMeIn, I am responsible for the enterprise business pan-India. So that's brief about me. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Vikas. Manoj?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Manoj Moni, and I'm on basically work with Kotak Mahindra Bank. So I look at technology initiatives of Kotak International, some of the almost all the support functions. Plus there's a governance, risk and compliance area, and as well as the capital market. So essentially, taking care of the technology needs for the bank.
Okay, thank you. Amit, what about you?
Hi, good afternoon, Deepu, and good afternoon to all the members also listening to this. My name is Amit Saxena. I'm Global Deputy CTO for State Bank of India. I look after the digital initiative of State Bank and also a lot of other things, but more or less everything which comes under the technology radar for State Bank of India. My primary responsibility is to keep State Bank of India on a forefront when it comes for technology adoption and doing a transformation for the bank, which is youngest bank in the country of 211 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amit. My name is Deepu, as most of you would have seen on the screen. I head operations and customer service and communities at Bajaj Allianz General Insurance. The mandate basically has been, digital transformation. And, we've been able to achieve quite a few, milestones. We've been winning a lot of awards domestically as well as globally. The topic for today, is something which excites, all of us. And the whole idea of, enhancing digital customer experience is something, which we all have felt and you all will continue to feel. So what we will do is, we will kickstart the discussion, by having, each of the eminent panelists out here. As you can see, they represent a wide, cross-section of industries, huge public sector banks, large private banks. I'm there for insurance, and Vikas is the man, who works behind the scenes to keep everybody connected. So it's a real diverse, panelist mix that we have out here. So I'll request each one of them, to essentially take us through, should we discussed that we will not discuss Gyan, but we'll basically talk about practical experience, in terms of what each one of them has basically gone through from their firm's perspective, on how they manage digital customer experience during the current pandemic. So what we'll do is, since we started with Kalyan last time, right? I guess we'll start with Vikas this time.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Deepu. Certainly a very interesting topic, and digital customer experience and digital transformation has been around for several years now. But certainly what we are seeing in our conversations with personas like yours, we have three bankers here, one from the insurance world and across industries. One of the things that we are seeing is that the COVID-19 situation has amplified the message of digital transformation. I mean, we are certainly seeing branches coming under the lockdown. We are certainly seeing offices coming under the lockdown. Employees have to be safe. They have to be working from home. Customers are at home. Employees are at home. And that is where the digital experience plays a very critical role. So what we have certainly seen is a sentiment moving towards, when we are talking disaster recovery, Now it's gone beyond data centers and gone beyond clouds and all this. Disaster recovery or business continuity has altogether a different meaning. And at LogMeIn, since we are an organization where the underlying philosophy has been unlocking the potential of workforce to work from anywhere. So with that, we stood by the organization, especially in 4 areas: healthcare, education, government, and our existing customers, where as a responsibility, we issued hundreds of emergency remote working kits absolutely free of cost. And we were surprised to see the way those were embraced, the way those were adapted. The point is not about bringing in technology. The point is how fast you adapt a technology and make it to use. We certainly saw that maturity coming in from very traditional organizations also. So that's my basic view to start off with, that certainly, yes, the meaning has changed more from creating good customer experience to something that is like completely changed now.
Thank you, Vikas. I guess everybody starts by taking your company's name, right? LogMeIn today.
Absolutely.
So Manoj, over to you. Perspectives from your side.
Yeah, Deepu, good afternoon, everybody. See, first of all, I just want to, take about a minute in actually just flipping the whole thing. What happens is when we talk about customer experience, we always talk about things like, what is for example, how many clicks does it take me to the transaction completely? What is the UI? Is it looking good? But unfortunately, there has been too much focus on these kind of things. But what we need to look at is the overall 360-degree view of the customer. I mean, it is not only about, the ease of doing transaction, but it is also about any kind of risk that is involved with the customer, any kind of interaction that the customer is able to do. So basically, this is what we need to look about. This is more true as far as, the banking is concerned, because the customer is trusting you with customers' money. And hence, it is very, very important for me to have a 360-degree view of the customer, not only, what are the channels by which he is talking about, but also be very, very clear in terms of, what is his pattern. So what I'm saying is I'm just taking customer experience to a one level above, and I'm saying it is not only the, what is visible to the eyes, but it should also be about what is not visible, what is, about making sure that the customer is safe, his money is safe, he feels secure. And this becomes all the more important, in the current times. And we will dwell with it, on these things in detail subsequently, in the upcoming time. But this is the initial thought that I want to leave with. Don't look at only what is visible to eye. Go beyond, what is not visible and what makes a 360-degree view of the customer, because that completely changes your perspective about customer experience. That is the whole, submission I have to make.
Thank you, Manoj. Very relevant. Amit?
Yeah, thank you very much, Deepu. And how we look at transformation of customer experience in SBI is that we are trying to move away from what customer asks us to do. We are looking at it from an aspect that what we can provide to a customer without him being asked. And the latest one, and then stitching the technology over with that requirement itself. I would tell you in this world of COVID, and we would be launching one of the, kind of a thing which has not been seen in BFSI. So this month only, you would start seeing. We have got a full digital platform, which is called YONO itself, right? So if you are using YONO and we have got a tie-up with a watch company, and you would get that watch, and then you can do your payment by doing a tap and go using that watch itself, right? So yeah, and then you can have and this would be made available through YONO itself, right? So you are wearing a watch. I'm not wearing that watch today. I already have that watch, but you can do a tap and go, and then all the payment is being done. So first of all, contactless kind of a thing. You do not need to worry that you have to give your debit card and then somebody is touching it. So this is a small example of a transformation. We at SBI are very passionate about how we are going to give our customer things which they have never asked. Just to give you an example, you are a very good customer and you are a customer of SBI, and you have got a grown-up kid itself, right? And he or she has to go and to study abroad. We are talking of giving a loan basis what your experience you have with or your relationship with the bank itself. And that's what we are working upon, which we would be giving to. So your kid get a education loan without you asking about it, right? And once the kid is going to get out of college, passing out, we are ready to give him a car loan, right? Why don't he or she should drive to first day to office, right, in a car itself? That was always our dream, right, when we started our job. So that's what we talk of a customer experience and transformation. And these are two things which I would like to talk through. I can talk at length, but in the interest of time, I would give it to other panelists also.
Thank you, Amit. Coming from SBI scale, I'm sure, this will be of great relevance to your customers and to the audience. Kalyan, over to you. Your thoughts on, digital customer experience, during the pandemic.
Absolutely. I think, thanks Deepu and thanks everyone for the fantastic perspectives. We at ICICI always live by one motto, which is customer-centric innovations. So as a bank, we always have stayed invested in ensuring that the customer life is made simpler. And and as Manoj rightly said, right, capturing the 360 view of the customer, helps us really achieve this at scale. So looking at when you talk about customer 360, right, there is various touch points or events for the customer. I mean, with the bank. So we believe in kind of ensuring that there is all these touch points are digitally served to achieve the optimal scale, cost efficiency, and a better risk graded in terms of the approach. So right from the point of acquisition, to customer onboarding, to servicing the customer digitally, and then ensuring that the customer's needs are holistically met by means of providing contextual products and interventions at various life stages is what we believe in doing, and we have been quite doing this with a lot of gusto, and as an organization we are in investment into that perspective. A few perspectives in terms of instant onboarding initiatives that we have done revolves around the video-based KYC onboarding for the customers. And in the current account space, we have introduced digital current account opening from the tablets and from the internet devices. And management of overall channel experience through introduction of chatbots, guided journey, and providing omni-channel support and servicing experience through WhatsApp banking. So that's the length and breadth and dimensions of solutions that we kind of digitally touch base and operate at various spectrums and life stages of the customer. Yeah.
Thank you, Kalyan. It was interesting, listening to all of you and, very diverse principles, that you brought out. So what I'll just share is, maybe a couple of examples of, what we did. I think one of the common threads coming across was, how do you meet customer needs proactively? Now we realize that customers have expressed needs and unstated needs. So one thing we did during the pandemic, in my firm was when customers were very wary of COVID-19, you can't go to hospital to get tested, right? You could get infected. We came out with the COVID-19 self-assessment tool on our app, and customers loved it, because they could get themselves tested, in the confines of their home. The second thing we did, when again you can't go to doctors, we came out with a doctor on chat and a doctor on video feature on our app, and customers could get digital consultation, and then just go and buy medicines. So, and it's not as if, customers express these needs. We figure out customer needs and we met them, on the app. So just two examples, to illustrate what most of you spoke about, in terms of how we can meet customer needs proactively, even when customers are not expressed them. Now, Manoj, coming to you and, a more specific question, right? Detecting and overcoming fraud during the times of work from home, is an integral component of, today's world, right? Like yesterday, I was telling you, somebody asked me, how do you know if somebody is not working for two organizations, right? Physically, when you go to office, you go to one, but if you're working from home, right, you could be working for two. So given that security is a key aspect of building trust with customer experience, right? How do you see this, building digital customer experience?
Yeah. So basically, before I start, just one thing, recently before, we were the first bank actually in India to launch the video KYC. So I think subsequently many banks have followed, but I think we were the first one to take that. And 811 is something that I think now legend is made of. So these are this quick one before I start further. So as you rightly said, Deepu, in terms of, as we talked about customer trust and how do we make sure that, we have a 360 view of the customer. So I just want to, present a situation, assume that we are having a situation, we are having a 360 view of the customer. Now, if I call the customer and we are finding something that is not in line with customer's profile, and I call the customer and say, hey, is it, we are seeing something like this, is it you or is it something, somebody else? Just imagine the amount of trust the customer will, actually have in you, because he knows that somebody is watching. So how we are able to achieve that? I mean, how we can achieve that, or how we are able to achieve that? So first is that you need to, as a bank, we need to have a 360-degree view of all the transactions that the customer is doing. So basically, all his touch points. It can be your branch banking, it can be your mobile banking, net banking, it can be any other method, or at the same time, it can be any channel. Like it could be your any NEFT, RTGS, normal UPI channel, or any other wallet channels. So the idea is that you need to have an enterprise fraud kind of a system which gives you all the transactions are flowing through, and you are able to manage all this by writing some rules to say, okay, whether it is not in line with customers profile. For example, some of the things which are important in today's world of AI and ML. Basically, do I have a customer's profile? Say last 1 year, last 1.5 years, what is the maximum number of transactions that he has done? What is the average transaction he has done? The moment I see something fishy, I actually flag it off. So immediately the team start working on it. So this gives us the customer confidence, and then the trust and the customer experience, which you can just cannot discount. Second, another aspect is that also that when we talk about, for example, say which are the top channels that the customer uses. Okay, for example, ATM POS. Are there any specific channels that he is using? Say in the times of when we are withdrawing cash, which are the top 5, top 10 ATMs the customer usually transacts with? And so basically what I can do is say, if it is not other than those 5, 10, can I simply say, a step of authentication can be done to make sure that the customer is right, I mean, it is the right customer. So things like these, will really help a lot, and they actually give a perspective. See, sometimes what happens that we are able to catch a lot of frauds in terms of also in terms of the AML piece, because what is happening, there are small amount which are coming to the account, and then they are mule account, they are actually getting. So these kind of, once I have a 360-degree view of all the customers, I can write the rules like that, and I can online instantaneously within a minute detect something is wrong, and then it can the team can actually this thing. That is the one part. It can be near real monitoring part where the alert comes. Second thing can be near real time. I can go for a step up. As I talked about, if the customer is going from, say, not from the top 5 ATMs, not from the ATM POS, or may not be from India, for example, and I know that he's not traveling international, so that there can be a step up on that. So additional authentication can figure out. Third thing is that, if I know that the customer is basically, it is way beyond the customer's profile. Like, for example, he generally withdraws 30,000, maximum he has done is 50,000. I'm suddenly getting a transaction which is much higher. So that is, I would certainly decline. So I have a mechanism by which I can decline those transactions. So things like these and small things like these actually add a lot of value to the customer and, the trust of the customer. And, believe me, the kind of feedback we get in terms of from the customer saying that, okay, somebody is watching, and this having a profile, see, people always talk about velocity-based rules, but in today's world, they are all passe. We need to be very clear that, for example, Deepu as a person has this distinct identity. His behavior is different. The way he withdraws money is different. The way he transacts is different. Unless and until I am able to capture that profile, the entire customer experience, customer service, whatever we call, will have no meaning. So I think this is the very, very important piece in terms of what we have been able to do and what we are, what we can, say from our experiences. This is something, it goes really a long way in actually making sure that you are able to minimize frauds, and we are able to make sure the customer money is safe in terms of whatever he's trusting you with.
You spoke with so much passion about trust, Manoj, that I feel like trusting you with my money right away.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Picking a cue from that, you spoke about 360. So Kalyan, over to you. What Manoj was speaking about is, is 360, right? So from your perspective, when you look at customers leaving their digital footprints all over the place, right? Whether it's WhatsApp, whether it's chatbots, whether it's, various solutions that they're availing of, right? How are you segregating customers in the digital world and, building online personas?
Okay. So I think, that's a very pertinent and interesting question. So from the experience, what I've learned out here, right, so we believe in inverting the pyramid. So when I call inverting the pyramid reads, right, the traditional models is like you acquire a customer and let the customer transact, then you offer products that you have. So that has been the traditional modeling of acquisition and servicing for the customer. So here, the models in which that we work is like, we ensure that we build in right data models around the customer behavior, and in terms of the product penetration and in terms of the transaction penetration, and we invert the pyramid. So we provide, intuitive offers which are pre-approved, which are pre-qualified and data tested to the customer right from day one, so that the customer kind of, gets the right product. I mean that he kind of, so that's where the entire channels, right, today has evolved into a customer experience driven conduit, which directly talks to the data marts and the backend systems and the data driven analytics engines to really, render what the customer a customer is eligible for, and what the customer, what are the products that are next best for the customers as a part of the value chain. So that's what we have been doing. I mean, we have been successful. We have been able to kind of produce, pre-approved cards, loans, even various other, wealth management and personal finance management tools and products for the customers to maximize their objectives in terms of investments, assets, and their and as well as their lifestyle benefits as well. So that's the way we are looking at, and that's what we have to invert the pyramid and preempt the customer needs well before, and for actual products that fit the.
Thank you, Kalyan. Very clear, value proposition, that you're building. Now over to you, Vikas, from an OEM's perspective, right? You spoke about how in today's situation, the challenge is different because the technician and the customer both are working from home, right? They're not physically in contact. And you also spoke about, how you're helping BFSI customers get onto digital channels and thereby, increase retention. You also, looking at areas, where onboarding is digital, right? So when you combine all of these, right, what's your perspective, right? What would you like to tell the audience?
I mean, what we are seeing from our experience that we have, so the digital journey has been covered by organizations by and large. There's no organization that has kind of not embraced maybe 1 or 2 or 3 channels when it comes to digital customer experience. But what really happens is that enough and more money goes in to get footprint onto these channels, be it your web, be it your mobile app, and everything, or maybe some other channel. The key is the miss happens is getting the customer stick to that channel, engaging a prospect or an existing customer in your world, Deepu, maybe for renewals or for new policies, or in a banking thing, the window can be very small. And there is, honestly, while customers want to be brand loyal, they are certainly cannot be dedicated with so much of distraction happening from aggregators or other parts. Customers can move out. So the objective is to engage the customer then and there and try to onboard the customer or help the customer in whatever way. So chatbots work in the mainstream, but certainly chatbots did a limited job. Now, picture this. I mean, as a customer, I'm on somebody's website and I need some information, be it from a loan perspective or from a policy or anything, and I call up the contact center. Now, is there a way that probably I could be helped by co-browsing with me? So when we say this is still human to human, but the channel remains digital than me taking over everything over a non-digital channel, maybe a phone or sending somebody home. So the point is that the customer is there, he's been browsing. Can you engage him then and there with a proactive chat and then helping him co-browse? So this is something that we are doing, and we are certainly seeing that traction, especially in the areas of form filling. What customers are saying is the forms are getting cumbersome, the forms are getting lengthy. And even if it's not lengthy, there are certain things that I don't understand. Point in time, I have to make a decision with what do I fill in over here, or whether should I fill in also or not. And that point of time, somebody giving me the comfort, at the same time being assured that all of this is encrypted. The agent should not see what he is not supposed to see. So with all these things, we are certainly helping organizations to fill in that delta gap between coming onto your channel and sticking over there and then getting converted. So that's what we are trying to bring in.
Thank you, Vikas. And I think I completely agree with you on co-browsing. I think it's a very, very effective tool in today's world. It's something, I've also tried, earlier, and it works quite effectively, especially when you want to onboard new customers.
Absolutely.
Amit, now, coming to you, with the scale that SBI has, right? Now, on the one hand, if you look at it conceptually, it's contactless and omni-channel. On the other hand, when you look at it from from an availability of channels perspective, you've got chatbots, you've got virtual assistants, and you've got, plenty of other digital assets, right? Mobile app, portals, browsers, so on and so forth. So are there any specific case studies, Amit, that you would like to share with the audience so that, they can relate to it, from a practical perspective?
Right. And Deepu, thank you very much for the question. But just to let the audience one more time, I would reiterate, when it comes for State Bank of India, right? We are a bank which have got 421 million customers, 760 million accounts, right?
Wow.
So there's no other comparison across the world what State Bank of India is. Also, having said that, and the length and breadth spread of a customer is very wide. We can talk of who is who of this country who bank with us, right from the person who lives at the remotest place in the country. So what we have done when we were designing our digital bank itself, which is YONO, what we have considered everybody. We have considered, I've given you an example of an urban millennial kind of thing. And on the same platform, you would have something called YONO Krishi. Right? So what happens if you are a farmer, you are associated with agriculture, we would help you to get a gold loan, right? So you go on YONO Krishi, apply for a gold loan, and then the only place when you have to visit a branch when you are submitting your gold, right? And we are integrating this with the kind of, and we have seen during this COVID time, we have seen there are a lot of natural disasters also which have happened. There was a flooding in our, in Bihar and eastern part of the country, and then you have, kind of a cyclone has hit Western India in Mumbai itself, where I sit in. So what we have done is we are trying to bring in people, that those people who are living in that area get quick access to a loan itself, right? Where you get attached to a, kind of a weather kind of a thing. And then you tell, okay, there's a cyclone upcoming. There's no fun in keeping gold at your home. Why don't you come and give it to SBI? We'll take care of it. Being the banker to the country, we carry a great responsibility of providing banking services at any place, at any time to our customer. And what we have seen, there has been a quite a jump in the number of people who are appreciating or embracing the new digital channel, as well as they are ongoing with the, so we have got our old customer, right? People who use online SBI, which is the portal, and now we have got millennials and younger generation who are, who want the instant gratification, right? So who are very good in ordering food from Zomato, right? So YONO gives you an instant gratification. It's the only channel which have got an integration with online marketplace. So and you get extra percentage of a discount. So the upcoming 15th August, look out for more offers which would be only applicable. So if you want to do some shopping on Amazon or Myntra, you would get extra discount by using only YONO itself there. Thank you very much, Deepu.
Thank you, Amit. And just hearing, my distinguished panelists, speak about various aspects. Just one example I want to tell people is one thing we did recently was, we came out with a mobile app exclusively for our crop insurance customers. And the app was not in English. It was in 3 Indian languages. It won the global, EFMA Accenture Award. It gave a variety of services. Of course, being an insurance company app, you obviously get insurance services. The second thing, it was integrated with the government's portal. So, farmers could carry out all their activities, using the app. Third, they got weather information. They got, pricing information. They got crop diagnostics. So it was a game changer for them, carry out everything from the comfort of an app. It had a rating of 4.6 on the Play Store, at one point in time. And, it's like, it's kind of, led the trend, for more such apps using languages other than English. So I think that's how the digital world is progressing. Now coming to Manoj again, I'll kind of start the cycle again with you itself, right? In terms of bringing value to customers through agile responses, right? Because you get customer feedback through multiple channels, right? One is the cultural aspect, you try to be customer centric. The
Right.
other is to respond in a very agile manner, right?
Right.
So how does how do you do it, or how does your firm do it, so that the audience can learn from your experience?
So basically, in today's world, some of these have actually become very common. Like obviously, in terms of the quick response, we have chatbots which are already there, with which the customer can actually interact. And I think they are learning as the time is going. They are becoming more and more proficient in terms of answering the queries of the customers. So they
Right.
have actually become very, very important. Now, at some point of time, when that discussion goes into slightly more technical, or if the chatbot is not able to handle, then it gets directed to the call center, or a maybe experienced person. So that's the one way of actually what we are trying to do recently in terms of. Second is that there is obviously a categorization also in terms of the level of queries that comes to. And if you have a customer profile, you also it helps you to know what has been the queries more often that customer has asked, and using that whether you can predict what could be the answer. There is also something that we have been able to do in terms of saying that is there one place which the person who is talking to the customer, can I give him a single view of all the relationships across across the group, not only bank, maybe what insurance he has, what other things he has. So that actually helps in answering the queries, and also reduces the time to respond, because the person otherwise would have said, okay, I'll have to check and come back to you. But if he has a complete view of the customer at one place, at one application, then he doesn't have to, he can answer it very quickly. And over time, when the person also becomes more and more proficient, you are actually able to answer questions very, very quickly. Something that would usually take day or two in terms of iteration gets solved within few minutes. So I think that's the kind of things where we are moving to.
Thank you, Manoj. And I realize, we're getting some good audience questions. And since our theme is customer first, I think I'll prioritize some audience questions, over the questions that I had prepared. So Kalyan, brace for a completely new audience question, right? The question is from Mohan Kumar. What is the technological impact on user experience, especially, from the point of view of emotions and sentiments, right? And how can we support this, during the COVID-19 era?
I think that's a part of your human-centric angle, and it's a part of
Right.
digital aesthetics that we manage as a part of the channel, right? So obviously, that's a very interesting question to handle. In terms of the human emotions, and I mean, in terms of how do we build digital empathy for products and solutions that we build, is what kind of helps the customers to stay riveted with your brand. If you look at some of the interactive tools and digital engagement platforms that are built in the bank, right? In terms of the chat boards, in terms of WhatsApp banking, etc. So you see the overall bank acting as your buddy. So it's not like you are interacting with a brick and mortar organization or a heavy hierarchical financial institution. So we want to kind of build in models and build in levers and build in channel engagement tools wherein the banks acts as your buddies for the millennials and new generations. And in terms of looking for the customer personas which are higher in the funnel, like marginalized middle person, who's at the influx of their growth funnel in their life stage, or if you look at a senior citizen as a person who is kind of super animated and kind of enjoying their life ahead. So I mean, there are different strokes that we have built, and different levers that we have built, which are specific to these customer personas. For example, your senior citizens today get to have a free health checkup done through the app. I mean, your font sizes, even for the senior citizens, it can be customized. They can make it thicker in terms of shading. They can increase the font sizes dynamically. And I mean, that's a way we are kind of ensuring that the bank acts as your buddy in terms of bringing in that digital empathy and high touch personalized kind of experience to these customers. Yeah.
Thank you, Kalyan. And the next question, I think even the audience is asking the order that I'm going to ask, my panelists. So Vikas, this is for you. It's from Priyaranjan. It says, while security aspects are very important while we speak for work from home, how do you suggest we manage bandwidth challenges the end user faces, since using VPN and other similar technologies need high bandwidth?
Yeah, so I can, well, there are many ways to manage this, but I can speak from LogMeIn's perspective, LogMeIn solution perspective, wherein the bandwidth does get optimized based on what the usage is going to happen. So if based on the bandwidth, the color can change from to black and white to a monochrome screen, or it can turn off certain things. So that managed thing can happen, but certainly that is a very big question, that because we could be in very critical meetings, important meetings, and bandwidth has to be managed. So I think that's more from an IT infrastructure. But yes, the tools, the solutions that we are taking to the market, whether it's the meeting tools like GoToMeeting or co-browse tools or chatbots, the bandwidth optimization is certainly built in.
Thank you, Vikas. And we have time for just one more question because we are kind of hitting the end of our allocated time. So, Amit, this question is for you. What are your thoughts around embracing automation for contact centers to ensure uninterrupted service and also to save on the cost of operation?
Right, and it's a very relevant question, right? Because I run multiple contact center all across the country. Just excuse me. So what we have done, people who are coming less, and certainly we are looking out for an automation. And I just want to pass on one message to whole of the fintech and the startup community who may be attending this. State Bank of India is very much open to talk to you guys with respect to what's a new technology, what you are ready to offer, right, to make a good Atmanirbhar Bharat itself. And we are very open. We can't meet you, but you are most welcome to approach me, and we would look at what's an option available, right? And as we move forward, and the best example is the video KYC. There's no big player in the video KYC game itself, right? All the banks have taken video KYC from some of the very, very agile kind of companies who have done this kind of a thing, including us, right? So, but anybody who has got a very good proposition with respect to how to enhance customer experience, we are open for business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amit. And that brings us to the end of our panel discussion. I want to thank all of you for keeping it crisp, and we covered all aspects, including what we had set out to do, as well as some very good questions from the audience. Just before we sign, given that nowadays people are very serious, right? Anything from a humorous perspective anybody would like to share, just so that we can leave our audience in high splits before we sign out? Anything, any funny incident, anything any one of you would like to share?
Deepu, we heard you. You have got some of the best antidotes of what we have heard. Why don't you say something? Right?
Okay. So the other day I was on a call with one of my friends, and I have 2 young kids, right? So they were driving my wife crazy. So I basically told my friend that my children are driving my wife crazy. At that time, one of the kids happened to come in. He only heard wife and crazy. So he went and told my wife, Papa's telling his friend that you are crazy. My wife came here, and the look she gave me, it was something indescribable. So sometimes, you get these, light moments, working from home, right? And I guess that's one of the, benefits of, working from home.
Right.
Anybody else want to share anything humorous, or shall I hand it back to Shri?
Yeah, just one, an anecdote that happened a few
Sure.
weeks ago with my dad, actually. So right from since the start of this COVID, right, and pandemic, a lot of these newspapers were kind of banned, and people were not able to read it across. So my dad was feeling really, kind of constrained by the lack of how do we read newspapers, and he was just, starting to get a bit berserk. So that's when I told him, hey, look, if you want to read newspaper, now I have given you a brand new phone. Just go. There is an ICICI Bank WhatsApp number. Go tap 9. You will get all magazines and newspapers to read for yourself. After that, he started exploring the entire WhatsApp, the stack that has been providing, and he has started giving me feedbacks on UI and UX. So this has become more of a train the trainer. This is really. So this times has been fantastic. That is exacting. It has brought down a kind of inquisitiveness in a set of people, right from the kids to the veterans. I think
Right.
these are exciting times, and we sit in a hot seat to manage between, as Manoj rightly said, the risks, the convenience, and the experience and the scale which Vikas was saying. I mean, these are exciting times, and these are, great challenges to solve for us and as well as for the customers. Yeah.
Right. And Dibu,
Absolutely, Kalyan.
just want
Yeah,
to add
Manoj, go to yeah.
a parting note. I mean, as Kalyana said, we are typically, constrained with whenever we say CX, we'll say, "Arey, this is all millennials and all we are talking about," right? But today, as I mean, very clear from an example and our personal examples also, it is across, maybe
Yes.
my kid is 12-year-old. I mean, he is, can operate anything today. I mean, those guys they are very, very different as compared to what we were at that age, right?
Yes.
Similarly, parents or similarly others, veterans.
Yes.
So I
True.
think another important point is that you need to consider everything there. For example, somebody talked about the font size and all that. Very, very important, because as a veteran, we would actually want to have that flexibility to say, okay, can I increase the font size? Can I make it bigger? So I think the UX, again, we need to look from that perspective only. It is not for one particular age group. It is across, maybe probably, from 10 to 80, 90 or whatever. So I think we need to be very, very clear on that. I think another dimension that it adds to the today's discussion. Very, very important one.
Absolutely, Manoj. I completely agree with you. It's completely age agnostic, because now with everybody working from home, everybody is digital, like you said, across age groups, right? So fantastic. So thank you all once again. I think I'm happy that, within the allotted time, we were able to cover all the points, including what we had set out to do, plus audience questions, as well as, the humor angle. So Shri, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much for that very well-rounded discussion.